Hi everyone, I hope you're well. So for today's practice, it's all about the mind-body connection. It's about listening to your body and what it has to say. If this isn't something that you've done for a long time or isn't something that you've really thought about much, it takes quite a lot of practice. And so the mat is the perfect place to really focus and really practice these things, so then you can take it off the mat and into everyday life. So we're going to be really listening to what messages our body's sending, how our body's feeling, and really working on feeling how intertwined our body and our thoughts and our mind are. So I hope you enjoyed today's practice. You're welcome to bring a pillow or a cushion or some blocks if you would like. It always helps with practice to have those, but it's completely fine if you don't. Grab a water bottle and I'll see you back here on your mat. So you're going to begin standing today at the top of your mat. I'm just going to come face on. So have your feet parallel, toes pointing forwards and hip width apart. So down under your hips. If you feel comfortable, it might be a nice idea to close your eyes for this one. If not, just gaze down in front of you, that's fine. And all we're going to do today is, as you inhale, float your hands up and overhead. And then as you exhale, with control, letting them float back down again. And trying to take the whole breath up with the movement. So the whole time you're breathing in, arms up, and then the whole time you're exhaling, arms come back down. And see if you can hear, just practice, just play around with this, have less intention for this movement. So try to not really think your way into it. Think, okay, now I'm going to lift my arms up and now I'm going to float them back down. Just see if your breath can control the movement. So just focusing on your inhale and your exhale and just letting your body move on its own. This is called embodied cognition. So although we tend to associate thinking with our brains, our bodies store a lot of thoughts, a lot of memories as well. It can be a bit of a strange concept, but we do have some evidence for this as well. So just have a play around with this idea as you float up and down. And a couple more just like that. Excellent, great work. So we're going to now come into a chair pose. So bring your feet together, big toes to touch, your heels can be slightly apart, making sure your knees are next to each other there. And you're just going to swing your hands back to come forward and then poke your sit bones out just like there's a chair behind you and you're sitting back on it. Now look down at your knees, make sure they're still next to each other, squeeze your thighs in together to help you here, and breathe, arms up by your ears. You can even tilt your sit bones back down towards the mat to tuck your tailbone under as you do this. And what I want you to do here is pay attention. What is your body saying? Can you feel the sensations? Can you hear the messages your body is sending, your thighs or your quads are sending up to your brain? Just sit with that, literally in chair. Just notice. without trying to fix it, without trying to make any changes. Just listen. And on your next exhale, coming back up to stand. Move those legs around a little bit if you like. Get the blood moving, the blood flowing back through. And then coming back to having your feet slightly wider than hip width distance apart this time. And you're going to lift your left leg and with control, step it back on your mat. You want your front leg bent with knee over ankle, and then your back leg, so your toes are pointing about halfway up your mat. We're going to move into warrior. This one's probably the pose that requires alignment even more than the rest of them. The intention here is to have your hips both facing the front of the room. So that's the aim. However, you don't want to get a twist in your back knee. So feel free to step that back leg out and up closer as much as you need so you can get those hips towards the front without a twist happening in your back foot. So play around with that back leg, listening to your own body. This is great practice to actually drop into your body and listen to what it's saying. Once you're feeling comfortable there, lift your hands up and overhead in warrior one. Checking that your knee is tracking over your toes, so it's pointing forwards. Hips are pointing the front towards the front of the mat equally. Back knee is not twisted. Step out, step up as much as you need if that's the case. And breathe here. Feeling strong, feeling like the warrior that you are. Great. Now you have some options here. So what you can do is option one. You can be on the tippy toes of your back foot. You can straighten that foot up now. And you can just practice leaning forwards, keeping a long spine, an open chest, and breathing here. If you would like to practice with your balance a little bit more, you can then lift that back leg off the mat, pressing out through your heels, pushing that standing foot into the mat, into warrior three, looking down in front of you. If you like from here, you can take your arms down by your sides, focusing on a focal point in front of you. Falling out as much as you need and coming back in. That ego practice is just as important as the physical practice. Feeling joy, laughing as you fall out, coming straight back in, building resilience. And wherever you are, let's come back together to up on the toes and then coming back so you're standing up straight and stepping back up to the front of the mat. Just taking a moment here, hands in prayer at your chest, closing down those eyes and noticing what your body's telling you now. The sensations, the messages, in whatever form that's like to you today. All right, let's go to the other side now. So keeping those feet together, big toes touching, heels slightly apart, coming back down into chair. So inhaling, sweeping those arms back and up, sitting back in your chair, squeezing your thighs together, tilting that tailbone under so you haven't got a big curve in your spine, looking forward, arms up by your ears, hands and wrists above shoulders. And notice. that practice of listening to your body is a lot easier to do when it's talking louder to you in a pose such as this one. It may be screaming. It makes it a lot easier to hear. And from there you can practice listening more to the subtleties. As you exhale, coming back up and standing. Again, stepping your feet wider than hip width apart this time. With your right leg, you're going to step back with control. However you get back there is fine. And again, listen to your body right now. Hip, knee over ankle, toes pointing towards about halfway up your mat, hips equal, both pointing towards the front of the room, but without a twist in that back knee. Knees aren't designed to twist. Ask any netballer. So move that back leg around until you find a comfortable place for you. The closer it comes and the wider it goes, the less twist there's going to be in the knee. And it's going to be different for everyone. Once you've got there, inhale, arms up and overhead, warrior one. Staring straight ahead, feeling like that warrior you are. Beautiful. Now again, take those options. So straightening up that back foot, coming up onto your toes and shifting your body weight forwards over that front leg. Now you might like to work here on having that long spine, that open chest, feeling a beautiful stretch right from your fingers down to the back heel. If you'd like to practice balance, and of course you can do this with a wall if you like as well. If you'd like to practice your balance a little bit further, you're going to bend your knees and push up onto that front leg, coming into warrior three. Looking down in front of you, strength in that standing leg, pressing out through that back heel. You might like to bring your arms down by your side or keep them overhead as you wish. Breathe. One more inhale here together. And then exhale with control. Everyone meeting with the toes on the mat. Arms back down by your side, standing up straight. And then coming back to the front of your mat. Now we're going to turn side on your mat. So you want your heels just slightly wider than hip width distance. And turning your toes in slightly just to ensure that your feet will remain parallel as you do this. Place your hands in your hip creases. As you inhale, lift up those shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades back together. A really beautiful open chest here, a nice long back. We're going to focus on maintaining that long back as we fold forward. So inhale again, exhale, coming from the hip creases, long spine, folding. You can bend your knees slightly here, micro bend in the knees. Pause halfway. Again, just check in with that long spine, that open chest, and then continue to fold. Now, you might find that you're right out here. You might find that you need to pause still. You could even grab some blocks here if you wish. So you just fold wherever is comfortable for you. Feeling a beautiful release in that lower back. Breathing here. Let's take one deep inhale here together and sigh it out. Letting it all go. Gradually walking your hands back and coming out the way you came in. So coming halfway, hands back to the hip creases, and with a long spine and an open chest, gradually coming back up to stand. Now you're going to shift your feet so your toes are pointing outwards and your heels are in. We've got a few options here as suits depending on how you're feeling today and how much openness there is in your hips. So the first one is goddess pose. So squatting down, just like in chair, having your sit bones tucked under slightly, knees tracking out over your toes, and then if you're comfortable, bringing your arms into cactus arms by your sides. This is goddess pose. Now, if that's a bit of a challenge, why don't you start with a little bit of movement here before coming into stillness. If you feel you have the flexibility in your hips and you want to give it a go, we're going to come into Malasana now. But if you want to stay in goddess pose, please stay there. For Malasana, you're going to bring your heels in a little bit closer together. And you're going to come up with a straight back into a squat. So this is a yogic squat, a yogi squat. The dogs are barking at the postie. Keeping up tradition. If it's in your practice and you would like to have a go at crow from here, please feel free to do that. If not, you're free to stay in goddess, Malasana. This is all about listening to your body, so whatever works for you today. If you do want to come into crow pose, shifting your body weight forwards, having wrists under shoulders, fingers spread wide, so you've got a really nice wide base here. From there, you're going to lift up, so your knees come under your armpits, and you might just like to practice now, just lifting one leg at a time as your weight is shifted forward. If you're comfortable like that, you can work on lifting both sides up to come in to crow. Breathing here. Beautiful. Now wherever you are, whether that's goddess, Malasana, crow pose, let's all meet in a comfortable seat here. I'm going to turn side on so you can see me a little bit easier. Keep that left leg out straight. Bring your right foot to rest on that left leg. Might be up on your thigh, could be down on your calf, wherever it falls for you. You're going to inhale, lifting up tall. Remember that piece of string coming out of your crown. And then exhale, coming forward. This knee can be bent as much as you need. Foot flexed, looking forwards. Inhale again here. And exhale, folding down over that left leg and breathing here. Again, listening in to your body. What's it saying to you here? Now we're winding down. Mine's saying, whoa, that's a big stretch. And then on your next inhale, coming back up, place your right hand behind you on the mat, behind your right sit bones. You're going to press into your ankle and press into your hand. Sweep your left hand up and overhead, looking up towards the ceiling, chest open, and breathe. Pressing into the hand, pressing into the foot. And exhale, coming back down, and let's take it to the other side. So right leg out in front of you. Once again, have that knee bent as much as you need. Feet coming back towards you to get nice flexion in that foot. Hands up by your ears. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, come forwards. Long spine here, looking forwards. Inhale again. Exhale, folding over that leg. Breathing, listening, noticing. One final inhale here. And exhale, coming back up to sit. Again, left hand back behind that left sit bone. A few palms lengths back. Sweeping the right hand up and around overhead, pressing into the ankle and the hand, opening up, chest open, looking up, pressing firmly into the mat. And exhale, coming back down. Excellent stuff. Now, my favorite part of every practice, rolling back down onto the mat into Shavasana. So, on your back, feet comfortably wide, just resting, arms out by your sides, palms facing up. And notice here. Try to notice your body, your mind, everything, all of you out together, all intertwined, one entity, all of it here on the mat right now. Can you notice it all here together as one? Feel the density of your body, the weight of your body here on the mat. Please stay here for as long as you have available. Remembering when you do arise to take it slow. First to roll over to one side and take a few deep breaths there before gradually coming to sit and taking your time before starting your day. Thank you so much for flowing with me today, and I look forward to seeing you here again soon on the mat.